Hello, I'm on my way to Kansas. I'm almost there. I have avoided quarter-sized hail and a tornado where I live, outrunning the storm. Hopefully the weather will be good tomorrow for the show. But I and two other car club members, which are behind me back there, we are fairly close to the Colorado-Kansas border and are going to look over the town the night before the show and then get up and go tomorrow. I hope you like the video and I hope you like the show. See you then.
Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the Cheyenne County Cruisers Saturday in the Park car show in June 2020. I drove there from central Colorado and this is what Kansas looks like. St. Francis has a high school team called the Indians, and they have an astronaut. Ron Evans on Apollo 17 was born there. They have a cute little country church and a downtown area that has the Cheyenne County Courthouse. It also has the Cheyenne County Hospital, at least they have one. And they also have a movie theater downtown. Someone in St. Francis has a sense of humor. There's Mater the truck. I was surprised to find a world-class motorcycle museum in downtown St. Francis. They have very rare and very odd motorcycles. Here's an emblem, which was one of only 3 in the world. This Orient is only one of 2 motorcycles in the world. And this Jefferson is the only motorcycle in existence of that brand. They also had a Flying Merkel, which is a very rare motorcycle, and it's displayed in a vault. Here's an Ace motorcycle. I'd never heard of them, but it was beautifully restored. It's a huge place, runs totally on donations. If you get a chance, I would stop into the motorcycle museum. This Excelsior won an award for most miles driven in 2 or 3 days, something like that. And this is an 800 horsepower Harley-Davidson drag race motorcycle that hit 200 miles an hour in a quarter mile. They have just about every brand you can think of and even scooters. So if you get a chance to go to St. Francis downtown, and that's what it looks like, stop in at the Motorcycle Museum.
Hello, St. Francis, Kansas. I'm the first guy here for the show. They had a camper there spending the night. He's gonna have to move. I sure could have used an extra hour's sleep. But I'm holding a spot here for my car club friends under this very nice tree. And I'm expecting a fairly good turnout today. If not, it still was a nice drive and it is still a nice place to be. So I'm gonna go over and register in a minute and then save a spot for my friends. There's a Prowler.
This is awesome.
The Electric Car Club had a Model X there. That always draws a big crowd. There were a couple of Tesla Model 3s and my Tesla Model S. I have a gas can to show relative equivalence of energy. 3 gallons of gas equals 90 kilowatts of energy. A lot of college kids like to know that. And if you see the little red dot in the nose cone of my car, I struck a bird on the way to Kansas and it knocked out one of my sensors. I'll have it fixed later. There were several local cars on display. This one was in a trailer and had a Hearst shifter and a pretty nice interior. It was a very well preserved Mach 1 Mustang. It had a Shelby nomenclature on the dash and a pretty nice interior. There were a lot of restored 1930s automobiles. This is one of my favorite styles of cars, is that particular style. Many don't have their original engines or switchgear. Here's another one that was actually part of a club, and it was the Cruisers in Northwest Kansas. Pretty nice to have them there. There was a Barracuda. I've seen a lot of lime green Barracudas in my car show history. This one had a particularly well done engine, custom aluminum welded radiator, and fuzzy dice inside the car. That's always required. Here was a nice old Chevrolet. I really like the lines on the older cars. This guy had fuzzy dice, many of them did, and it had a brilliant red interior. I was pretty impressed at how well maintained it had. And you can see the older style steering wheel with the horn in the middle. That was pretty interesting. This was a Ford Model A, and I had no idea that the radiator cap was that decorative. And there's the gas tank right in front of the driver. That was probably not very safe. And the interior on the old Fords was actually quite simple. You could tell that Nebraska is farm and dairy country. The Livestock Association certainly had a vehicle there. They even had I think it was an 84 Mack truck. That one was pretty nice. I got to talk to the owners. They were quite nice people. They don't actually use it for towing, that as far as I know, it's just decorative. And that is a side vent that has disappeared from a lot of vehicles. I wish cars still had those. This was a redone Willys Jeep. Willys used to make Jeep before American Motors bought them, and Ford and several others. This was a chopped vehicle. That means the roofline has been reduced drastically. Don't ask me how comfortable it is on the inside, because I don't know. But he had this one completely redone. The interior was obviously done. Beautiful work. Don't know how nice a white interior is going to stay over the years. This was a rat rod at the show. Those generally promote rust. They do not do anything to restore the vehicle. They actually like the fact that it looks a little rough around the edges. But there were a couple of rat rods at the show. It was really interesting to see the unconventional decorations they put on their cars. I really liked this land bar. This was a Cadillac Fleetwood. It was huge. Look at the chrome on the bumper. Egad. An interesting feature of the Cadillacs that I don't think any other GM cars had were the little fiber optics panels on the fenders. That tells you if the blinkers are working. Now you can see the interior is huge, and the trunk is bigger than my first apartment. That was just an enormous automobile. The Triumph Club had several cars at the show, some beautifully restored but original condition Triumphs. This one is got the original engine. You can see the pair of Weber carburetors there. The TR6 was one of my favorites as a kid. I happen to think black seats on a convertible are another energy source that is untapped on our planet, but people love to have black seats in cars. I was kind of amused to see a purplish blue gremlin. A friend of mine in high school had one. I thought they were always interesting little cars made by AMC. One thing I was surprised to see is I've forgotten that they actually had a little gremlin in the badge. That was pretty interesting to see on a production car. The interior of this one was fairly well preserved. I kind of liked it. Someone brought a military truck, clearly based on a tractor, to the show. That was quite fun. They were auctioning off a gas pump, and they gave away free water, and boy did I drink them.
Wow, we're pretty much done with the show. It's really hot, and we left the show a little early, and so we're heading back. I'm going to stay in Kansas overnight and head back to Colorado in the morning, and the car ahead of me is one of my car show buddies, and he's going to head back to Colorado today. So it was actually a pretty nice show, better attended than I kind of thought. And the weather held up pretty good. So it was been a pretty good show, and I was glad I came, and we'll do some more car show videos when they happen.
For both nights that I was there, there was a tremendous rainstorm. I spent a lot of my time huddled under an awning at the gas station across the street from my hotel because I was concerned for hail damage. Several of the cars from the hotel scooted over there. You can see it in this panoramic picture. And even a trailer tried to get out of the storm.
Well, it turns out it's a beautiful day to return to Colorado. That belies the storms that were there last night. Here we are just about leaving Kansas. There's the sign. And we are entering colorful Colorado. Interesting, the roads got worse. So we are now in Colorado, headed back after the St. Francis car show. I was pretty happy with the turnout and the number of cars that were there. I didn't get to meet any of the Rocky Mountain Triumph Club. It was their club that notified me about the St. Francis car show. I am scheduled to give a presentation on electric cars to their club in coming up, but we don't know with the current restrictions going on whether or not they actually have in-person club meetings. The electric car club that I'm a member of, we have Zoom meetings online, so we have a meeting anyway. We don't meet at a restaurant until that's open and available, but we do meet. So it's not decided that I will be giving the presentation to the Rocky Mountain Triumph Club, but I was hoping to meet some of their members. I did meet one person, a young lady that actually lived in St. Francis and was part of the Rocky Mountain Triumph Club. That's quite a distance to be a member of the club that's basically in Denver when you live in Kansas, but I guess she was the lone Triumph owner in Kansas, or in St. Francis, Kansas, and helped get the club to show up. I'm just now passing a bunch of wind turbines in Colorado and over the Kansas border. It's amazing to see how many wind turbines that Colorado and Kansas have. I'm very glad to see the renewable energy capture going on in Colorado. And almost back to where I live. Hope you liked the video. Hope you liked the show. Hope you'll come back for some more videos.